Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at the lovely Penguin Place and the coordinating punch, which is called the Penguin Builder Punch. It's a wonderful bundle which is available from August the 3rd in the new mini catalogue, together with Celebration, because we've got a second celebration coming. All of my customers will have received their catalogue or will be getting it in the next day or so. I know a couple of people have let me know that they've already received it, but they all went out this week, so you should be getting it very soon. And if you haven't got one and would like one, just leave me a comment down below and I'll see what I can do for you. So the punch and the stamp set come together as a bundle, and you can get 10% off. And as I say, this is available the 3rd of August in the new mini catalogue. It's absolutely lovely. And the punch, my goodness, there's so many things that you can do with it. You can punch out this absolutely gorgeous little penguin. So this is the little penguin that you can punch out. And obviously this part is the outside, so I've done that in black. This part is the inside, which I've done in the white. You've got the little feet, which I've done in Calypso Coral. And then we've got two little eyes, and we've got the little beak, which you can put in there and make the lovely little penguin. But I really like, and I've been looking at the punch and thinking there's all sorts of other things that we can do. So I was talking the other day and saying that you can make a snowman. So here's a really sweet little snowman, and I'm going to show you how to do this one because it's really simple and really easy, but makes a beautiful little snowman. You can also do a Father Christmas. So, you know, Father Christmas, absolutely lovely. You've got all of his sort of snowiness. His little belt has come from the scarf, and I've just cut it along there, so you've got a little belt. You could put a little line on it or a cross on it to actually give the buckle of the belt if you wanted to. The little tiny nose again has come from here, so all I did was punch it, stamp it, and then literally just fussy cut the circle so it gives a little bit of height. And then his beard has come from the feet, so the little feet here I just stamped out quite a few, started with his whiskers. So if I pick this up just a little bit, you can then see it easier. So started off with his whiskers and put the whiskers and the nose on. Then I did his hair running round the side, and then added some more little bits of hair and stuff in, which I've done with the feet. So you've got a lovely snowman, and I've taken the hat, although it's not quite a Santa Claus hat, but I've taken the little hat there and just did that in real red. So you've got a lovely little snowman, Father Christmas. Then I thought, well, we can do lots of different animals. So I thought I would do a little dog. So there's our little dog. Again, very easy to do. I will show you how to start putting that one together. I might not have time to do all of it. Then we've got a little rabbit, so you can do him in whatever colour you want. Again, I was just using little scraps, but a very sweet little rabbit, and his little tail again has been done with the feet to give him his little fluffy tail. And then I've done, I think he looks more like a cat, or if I pointed his ears a bit, he'd look more like a fox. But you could also take the feet, punch a lot of those out in the, I've used Calypso Coral and Soft Suede. You could then put that all the way round and make him a lion. So lots of different ideas to do with it. Very easy. Once you start, you just sort of go like, oh yes, I can do this, I can do that. So you can make all sorts of little animals, however you want to make them. You can do all sorts of Christmas things as well. So I thought that we would have a go at doing a few of them. I'm just going to pop them up here so you can see. And I think we'll do the snowman because he's probably one of the easiest ones to do. So I'm just going to pop these ones up here so you can still, can you see them? Not quite. Let's bring them down just a little bit. So then you can have a look at them as I'm working around. Will we get him on there? Yes, we will. Okay, so those are our little critters that we've got at the moment. So let's have a go at doing the snowman. So the snowman, we need to have the body. So let me just take, I've got lots of little bits of scrap and things here. So we're going to take, let me just make sure I've got a piece that's going to be big enough. Yes, I think it is. And we're going to just take out the main body in white. So just slot it in, make sure that it's going to come across. This is just big enough on here, hopefully. I think it might just, yes it is. Okay, so that's our little body. And then we need to take a piece of basic or just black cardstock, and you're going to put it in at the bottom and just take it so that you've got the bottom half of it. And if you sort of line it up just to about there and punch that out, that will give you his little hat. So we've got the snowman with his little hat. Now we need to take the eyes, and the eyes, as I said, come from the main penguin place, and the little nose as well. So we're going to have the eyes in, I'm just going to get my memento out. And we don't want the eyes too far apart, so I'm just going to stamp one of them. So literally just taking one of the eyes, and then we're going to put one eye in on there, and we'll have the other eye in on there. Okay, and then we can do his little nose. So I do need to clean this off. I've got both of them on the stamp set on the block, which I probably wouldn't do, but I'm only doing it because I'm trying to do it fairly quickly for you. So I'm just going to keep that eye in on there. And then I've got some real red. No, we don't want that because it's a snowman, isn't it? So his little carroty nose, I've got a little bit of Calypso coral here, and all I'm going to do is, where I've got a corner like this, I'm literally just going to take a very thin sliver up at an angle, get it in on the point, and then we can just take it off there. So all you're doing is taking a thin sort of sliver, which will do his little carroty nose. So let's pop that one in, and then I can have a little look and see whether it's the right length or it might be a little bit big. That'll be all right. I can put that out at just at a slight angle. So we'll have his little carrot nose like that. I quite like to do things at a little bit of an angle rather than completely straight, because otherwise it can look a little bit like a beak. So just a little bit of wet glue in here, and we're going to pop him. I keep saying I must get myself some tweezers. I haven't got any tweezers at the moment that are any good, so I'm just going to pop that in, just in at the angle. Whoops. Like that. And then he's got a nice carroty nose. And then we can pop his little hat on at an angle. So let's just take that for his hat. And I'm only just doing a little bit at the bottom. And then we can put his hat on again at a bit of a jaunty angle. like that. So that's his hat. And then we just need the little pieces of coal down on the center. So we can take the little eyes again. And we can put this one. Again, I'm just stamping, inking up one of them. And then I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, and he's got his 3 little pieces of coal down on the center. So that's our little snowman. You can see that one I did the little piece of his nose just a little bit smaller. It doesn't really matter what size you do it, as long as it's got, you know, that little sort of carroty nose coming out. And that's our snowman. So let me show you how to do one of the critters. And then we might have enough time to do a snowman. I'm not sure, we'll have to see. So if we're going to do one of these ones, we need to have, what colour? I've got all sorts. I've got a bag of little scraps here. So let's have this dog. I want it in sort of, oh, what about this one? Shall we have him, there we go. That'll do. A little piece of as I say, I save all my scraps so that we've got quite a few. So on this one we need to take out the inside piece, so we're going to just punch out, and we're going to take 2 of these. So we've got 2 of these pieces here, and we can have 2 little feet as well. So let me just take 2 little feet. So I'm just going to take, that's one, sticking to me, and that's another. Let me just get rid of that little bit of scrap. You do end up with lots of pieces of scrap, but I tend to clear them all up afterwards, so I've got lots of bits and pieces on. Okay, so that is going to be our body. This part is going to be our head. Now we do need to do a little bit of surgery on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part and we're just going to curve it round. And again, you know, try and get it as straight as you can, but it's not overly important if you don't. So just take it round and then down like that. And then you've got his head. Now you will see you've got a little piece sticking out of here, but we can trim that up afterwards. And I've only kept that because it gives a little bit of extra support. So on this one, we need to do 2 little eyes. So we've still got our eyes out. So I'm just going to do it again in the memento. So we'll have 2 little eyes. Oops, says me, like doing his nose. We don't want a nose on there. And you can have a black nose or you can have a red nose. It's entirely up to you. Let me just clean that off and make sure that that's not on there. Right. So we want the little black nose, eyes rather. So again, I'm just doing one of them. And on this one, we want them to be reasonably high up. So we want them to be about there. And we'll have the other little eye like that. And again, by just doing one of them, you can get them a little bit closer together. Then I'm going to do, I've done a little red nose on this one. I'm going to do a black nose on this one just for a change. So just bring that down a little bit. Put a little black nose in on there. And then if you want to, you can actually, on this one, I cut the nose out, so you can put it up with a little dimensional if you want to have a little bit of extra height. On this one I'm going to just keep it as it is, because I don't want to be wasting too much time on the video, because I want to try and get in as much as we can. Okay, so that's the basis of it. And then I've got one of our just a black pen, and on this we just need to put a little line, so just straight down the middle, and then curl it up one side and then curl it up the other side to give him his little mouth like that. Now you can do it with our Stamping Right markers. I find that a pen, a black pen, or a black biro actually makes it a little finer, so that it makes it a little easier on there. So that's going to be his little face, which is going to come in on here. And then the piece that we've cut off, we're going to make the ears. So with this, we need to just take it from the bottom and just round it in on there, and that makes one ear. And then we need to do exactly the same with the other one. Just take it round and round it up so it joins in on the other. And again, you don't have to be completely accurate. You can see that gives you your ears. And then we want to have a little tail. So on this piece, we can take it from the piece down on here. So we're going to take it up and we're going to do it round into a tail shape. So just bring it round, curve it round a bit, and just take it off like that. And that will give you your little tail like that. Okay, so we can take this piece now and we can put this in over here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of wet glue on here, and I'm only using a tiny weeny little bit of it, so just a little piece here down in on the bottom. And I use wet glue because it allows you to move it around a little bit. So we're going to put this down so that it comes down in onto his body like that. Now if you've got a little piece like here which is just showing, you can just very easily just take that piece off like that. Okay, so then we need to pop his little ears in. So I'm going to have one little ear sticking up and one little ear sort of sticking down. So we'll have this one with his little ear sticking up this way. So I want that to come like that. And then we'll have his other ear just coming down that way. So we'll just put a little tiny bit of glue on here, and we can pop his little ear in there, so we can have quite a little sort of a cute looking little dog. And then we just need to pop his little tail in, so his tail can come up that way. I've got a little piece that as it punched out, it's right on there, but doesn't matter. So just a tiny weeny little bit of glue here, which is the wrong way up. Hold on, let's take that out and put it back on that side, because we want it on the top of it so that his little tail will come in just in like this. And we'll have that up at that angle. So that's his little tail. Make sure that's not stuck down. And then we can just take two little feet and just pop those in on the center. So again, just a little bit of glue, and we're going to pop him in like that. with his little feet down. And we'll just take the other one. Just pop a little bit on there and put his feet down like that. Okay, so that's our little dog, and you can see he's a slightly different sort of character to this one. You can see that they're quite fun, and depending how much you take, so this one I took more at the top to give him a more sort of elongated face. This one I cut him a little bit shorter to give him a little rounded face, and again it depends where you pop the ears to the different shape. This one obviously has got a black nose, this one's got a little red nose, so you know, you can dress him up, you can then put the hat on, you can do all sorts of things with him. And then the last one we can do is, let me see how I'm doing time wise. Oh yes, I'm going to do it. We can do the snowman. So again, scraps I'm going to take. You see I've got a bag. I have a bag full of all different colours of scraps so that I can then take pieces out. So we'll take this one out, which was an old tag from last year I didn't finish. And we need to punch out, put that down there so it's not too noisy. Get the punch, and we need to punch a body out for this one. So let me just take a body. I don't want the inside bit. Can I just get it down in? Let's do it this way. So we'll have the little body in, whoops, that side. So that's his body. Then we need to do his little face. So I did him in pink, and I think it's a little bright. So I'm going to see if I've got anything that's a little bit less pink. I don't know whether I have. I think most of it is fairly pink in here. Don't want it too pink. I'm going to have to do it in the same sort of pink, which I think's a little bit bright, but it'll work. It'll work. So we need to literally just take out a piece that we're going to have for his face. So if we just pop this piece in on here, and then we can quite easily just take our scissors, and we're going to cut this round straight across on the bottom, and that's going to go straight on top of there like that, because where his whiskers and things are going to come, it's going to come right the way in on the join part, so you're not going to see it. So we're just going to stick this in on here, take that up that way. So that's that bit. We then need to take his little his buckle, but I'm going to do the other parts first. So we need to punch out quite a few in, and I'm just doing it in a little scrap of the basic white, and you can literally just slot it in and take it along. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops. 8. I'm going to start with 9. I can't remember how many I used, but I think 9 will probably be about right. If not, we can always take a few more. So let's take those pieces out, and I've got lots of little tiny scrappy pieces in there. Let's take those out of the way. So we've got quite a lot of these ones that we need to do. So we need to take out, let's move those scraps out of the way in case I need them for later on. We're going to take 2 eyes first of all, So again, I'm not doing them, I don't want them too far apart. The rabbit I did at the same distance, but we're going to take an eye there, and we'll have an eye the other side. Okay, then we need to take his little nose. Now for this one, because we want it to come in over the top of the whiskers, we're going to have to stamp it out in the real red, and I'm going to put it onto, again, you know, use up your scraps because you're only using a tiny weeny little bit of this. So let me just get him so it's a nice red little nose. We'll pop him up on here. Okay, so that's the red nose. So with our paper snips, I'm just going to let's take that out like that. I'm just going to very quickly just cut him out. Now, you don't need to be hugely accurate. It is quite a small piece, but it's fairly easy to work, and it doesn't matter if it's not completely spherical. Just go around your edge, turning it as you go. And that will take it in like that. So that's the little nose on there. So we can start with the whiskers. Now, if you take, so I'm going to take one whisker and we're going to put it right in on the edge here, so it sticks out like that. Then we're going to take the other one and we're going to do that the opposite side, so again it sticks out quite a little way. Okay, then we're going to take the next two and we're going to bring them in closer. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of, oops, make sure I've got it, the whiskers going the right way. So we want this one to come in and to go down in on the center there, and we'll do the other one a little tiny bit there, and this one is going to go the same, and we can have this so that it comes like this. So you've got two, which gives it a bit of a sort of a bushy piece. Now you could take a tiny little bit of dimensional if you wanted to add a little bit of height to the nose, but it will just stick in perfectly in on the center. So that's your little start of your Father Christmas. And then we need to take these pieces. Oh, I haven't done the hat, have I? So we need to do the hat. Let me just take his hat out, which is this one. And again, you can, if you've got another hat in another set, then you can use that. I'm just trying to use everything from this particular set. So, and I'm just going to add it just onto here because it doesn't matter if it comes out on the other side or not. So let's take his little hat. That's got to be in real red again. So just tuck that one in. Stamp his little hat, and we'll just have that down at the bottom like that. There we go. So I can then just very quickly just cut this one out. Again, I try and leave a tiny weeny little border because it makes it easier to fussy cut it, and also the part of this hat has actually got a little bit of white coming out where the band of the hat comes. So it works quite well if you just leave a little piece out, but you don't need to go too mad with it. Take that out so I'm not going back on myself. So take that round there, and we'll just take this. There we go. So that's his little hat that we need to put on. But we also need to build up these with these the hair. So if you just take tiny little bit of glue and you're just going to work your way round. So tuck it in just in underneath the piece that you've glued, and just sort of take it to the side there. So that's sort of one piece. You've got another piece to go in, and if you work one side to the other, and again just tuck it in so that it looks more like hair. You could actually make a little bald man with it, couldn't you? So that's like that. Whoops. The only trouble with wet glue, you do end up with some little pieces. I'm going to have to cut some more of these, but I thought I'd try and show you from start to finish, because sometimes it's quite difficult when you're looking at something and you think, oh well, how did they do that? How did they put this in? So that's just going to come in like that, and again you can just tuck it in. Take this one, and we'll do the other side and just literally tuck it in underneath, which is why if you only put a little tiny bit of glue, you've got enough to be able to tuck it in like that. And then his little hat should just go in on top there. So we'll just take a little tiny bit of glue in on the bottom, and we should, with a bit of luck, be able to just tuck it in just underneath there, just underneath the other piece, and just put it down on his head like that. So that's quite good. Got a little bit of a jaunty angle on that one, which is quite fun. I quite like doing things with jaunty angles. And then all we need to do is to take his whiskers down at the bottom. So I've used 3 for that. So we've got 1 there, and we need another 2, don't we? So let's just cut out, whoops, 1, 2. And that should give us his little beard. So with his beard, we're just going to take 1 in on one side, so underneath where the top piece is. Just pop that down there. We'll take the other piece on the other side. And again, if you don't want to do his beard quite so full, you don't need to. You can just have him with his moustache. As I said, once you start looking at a punch, you can see so many different ideas and things that you can do. So let's just put this one in here. And we'll tuck this one in there, and that gives us just that little bit of extra in on his beard. And again, if you wanted to, you could take one of these, and I don't know whether it'll work, but if you didn't want the top of him to be quite so bald, you could maybe take one of these pieces and just cut it across. It's at quite an angle, isn't it? So I'm going to take it fairly low down, and you could just put it in and give him just a little bit of a fringe in on there, which would actually work, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a fringe on this one. Again, it's a matter of just playing around and going like, oh yes, that might work. So just a tiny weeny little bit of glue If you haven't got glue, you can use glue dots, which work quite well. So, whoops, I want the finer part of this to go at the top, like that, so it's in on the angle, and it's just going to give him a little bit of hair down in on here. So let's tuck that up like that, and that gives him, and I would have put the hat in so it comes on top, but that gives you your little guy like that. And then just for the belt you can take from this one, which I said take that and then just cut it across there, so that gives you the belt. Or you can just give him a little black button on his and we'll do that for this one to just make him a little bit different. So I'm just going to take on here, he's just going to have a little, I might do two actually, quite close together. So there you go, that gives him just two little buttons on there. And as I say, that makes just a different, slightly different one. You know, you can play around with as many patterns and things as you want. And once you've got those sort of two basics down, so once you've taken the, you know, whether you're using the outside image or whether you're using the inside image, you can then play around with it. So, you know, there are pieces. This one I actually took, which again is, I think I will make him into a lion, because I think a lion would look quite good with this. But the little, his little legs at the front, or his paws, have actually come from taking off the arms of that image to give more of a streamlined effect. And again, I just took the tail, came from this inside piece, and I just rounded it round. So you can see lots of different ways of using it. I hope you found that useful. I hope you'll think about getting this punch and this stamp set, and not just doing penguins, but doing all sorts of other things, and having some fun with it. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.